The wind whispers across the open fields of Heartland. The golden sunlight fades over the ranch and Amy stands still, her eyes distant, her heart heavy. She runs her hand along Spartan's mane, feeling a memory rise like an old song she can't forget. It's been years since Ty passed, but tonight, the ache feels new again. The sky seems to hold his name, and Amy can almost hear his voice, soft, kind, and full of love. "You've got this, Ames." But she doesn't feel strong. Not today. As the trailer for Heartland Season 19, Episode 3 begins, the world seems to slow down. The ranch is quiet, but every corner is alive with memories. The air carries a weight of love, loss, and longing. Amy's heart remembers, and in that remembrance, story begins. In this episode, Heartland returns with a wave of deep emotion that fans have waited for. The story opens with Amy walking through the barn early in the morning. The sun hasn't risen yet, and a pale blue light fills the wooden space. Everything feels familiar: the smell of hay, the gentle breathing of the horses, the sound of Spartan's hooves brushing against the stall floor. Yet, something feels missing. Ty's presence, that warmth that once filled every silence, is gone. Amy pauses near Spartan, her oldest companion. She looks into his eyes, and for a brief moment, she feels the same calm that Ty used to bring. The camera lingers on her face. She's not crying yet, but her eyes glisten with unshed tears. In her silence, we hear everything: her love, her pain, her strength trying not to break. The narrator's voice comes in soft and steady. Sometimes the hardest part of healing is remembering the days when everything felt whole. From here, the trailer shifts between moments of stillness and flashbacks. We see a young Amy and Ty laughing near the paddock, the camera glowing with a warm golden filter. Their laughter fades into the sound of the present, the rustle of wind, the soft creak of the barn door. The transition reminds us how memory never truly fades. It only changes shape. Then we see Amy holding an old photo, a small picture of her and Ty taken years ago. The light hits her hand, the camera focusing on her trembling fingers. She exhales deeply, and for the first time, a tear falls. No words are spoken, yet the pain is louder than any dialogue could express. The music swells, a quiet piano melody, echoing Ty's theme from earlier seasons. Jack appears in the background, watching her silently. His eyes are full of care, but also understanding. He knows what loss feels like. He doesn't speak right away. He just walks up and gently places a hand on her shoulder. That single touch says everything: family, love, and unspoken support. The narrator continues, "Even when the ones we love are gone, their spirit stays in the places they once stood. The barn, the field, the sky, they remember too." The trailer cuts between Amy riding Spartan across the ranch and flashbacks of Ty riding beside her. The scenes overlap, past and present merging into one frame. It's as if the memory itself is alive, riding with her. The emotion rises as Amy looks toward the horizon, her hair flowing in the wind, her eyes filled with both sorrow and peace. As the section closes, the voiceover gently fades. She thought she had moved on, but sometimes love has a way of calling you back. The music swells, and the screen slowly fades to black, leaving the audience holding their breath, waiting to see what comes next. The morning light spills gently over the Heartland ranch, soft and golden, but Amy feels none of its warmth. She stands outside the old barn, watching the horses graze, her mind far away. The world moves as it always does. Birds sing, wind hums through the grass. The ranch breathes, but inside Amy, time feels frozen. It's been years since Ty left, yet some mornings still begin with his name in her thoughts. The trailer captures this perfectly, the kind of quiet pain that doesn't shout. It whispers. We see Amy saddle Spartan, her hands steady, but her heart trembling. The leather creaks under her touch, and the sound alone is enough to summon a memory. A quick cut, a flashback. Ty standing beside her years ago, smiling that soft, familiar smile. His voice echoes faintly. "You've got this, Ames." It's not real, but she hears it just the same. This episode builds on that tender space between healing and hurting. In season 19 so far, Amy has tried to fill her days with purpose. training horses, raising Lyndy, holding the family together, but episode 3 pulls her back to the places she's been avoiding. The barn where she and Ty shared countless mornings. The paddock where they first laughed. The path they once rode together. Every corner of Heartland carries the echo of him, and in this episode, Amy can't silence it anymore. The scene shifts to the kitchen. Lou and Jack talk quietly at the table, voices soft, almost distant. Lou's worried. She can see the tiredness behind Amy's smiles. She's trying to be strong for everyone, Lou says, her tone gentle but heavy. Jack nods, eyes fixed on his coffee. Sometimes being strong means letting yourself remember, he murmurs. The line lingers in the air, a message for Amy, and maybe for all of them. Cut to Amy standing in the pasture. She looks at the horizon wide, endless, glowing under the afternoon sun. The music here is soft, almost fragile, like a memory unraveling. Her daughter, Lyndy, runs toward her, laughing. For a brief moment, Amy's face softens, the pain fading behind a small smile. But as Lyndy's laughter fades into the distance, we see the tear in Amy's eye glint in the sunlight. This is where the storytelling of Heartland shines, not in grand drama, but in simple, human truth. The trailer doesn't rely on big words or big scenes. It lets silence do the talking. It lets Amy's eyes tell the story. We see her trying to move forward, but grief has its own rhythm. And sometimes it dances where we least expect it. The narrator's voice returns, low and warm. Some memories don't fade. They wait for us, quietly, until we're ready to face them. The screen fades to black for a moment, the sound of wind and horse hooves echoing in the distance. Before flashing the episode title, Heartland, Season 19. Episode 3. The moment feels haunting yet hopeful. Amy isn't broken. She's human. Her pain is the price of love, and her tears are proof that love never truly dies. The screen flickers to life, a soft, golden haze over the Heartland ranch. A lone figure rides across the open fields. It's Amy, her hair catching the wind, her eyes lost somewhere between the past and the horizon. The camera follows her from a distance, almost afraid to get too close, as if her silence might shatter if touched. The trailer doesn't need many words. Every frame breathes emotion. Every second feels like a heartbeat remembering what once was. The first shot fades into the barn. Dust drifts through the morning light. Amy walks in slowly, brushing her hand over the old stall door, Ty's old tools still hanging nearby. A faint sound of laughter echoes his laughter, not real, but enough to make her stop and close her eyes. The music is soft, a piano melody that feels like a sigh. She opens her eyes again, and the barn is empty. The moment is gone, but her heart hasn't caught up. Then, cut Lyndy running toward her mother with a smile that could light up the darkest night. Amy kneels to catch her, lifting her into her arms, the weight of love and memory tangled together. The narrator's voice breaks the silence. Sometimes, the heart remembers what the mind tries to forget. The trailer continues with flashes of faces, Jack watching from the porch, his eyes heavy with understanding. Lou looking at Amy with quiet concern, and Caleb at the stables, his expression torn between wanting to help and knowing he can't fill that space Ty left behind. Each shot feels like a breath in a larger story, every character connected by one shared truth. Love leaves marks that time can't erase. The next scene shows Amy leading Spartan into the open field. She stops and looks at the horizon. The sky turns gold, then fades into shades of pink and blue. A slow-motion sequence begins, a flashback of Ty riding beside her. Both of them laughing, the camera circling them like a memory refusing to fade. His voice lingers in the background, faint but clear enough to break your heart. I'll always ride with you, Amy. Suddenly, the trailer snaps back to the present. Amy's eyes glisten with tears, her breath shaky. She whispers softly, I know. The music swells, a single note stretching through silence. The horses run across the fields, wind sweeping through the grass. It's not just a scene. It's a symbol, freedom, grief, and love. All colliding in one heartbeat. Then comes the emotional peak of the trailer. Amy standing in front of Ty's old jacket. hanging near the door. She reaches out, her fingers brushing the fabric, trembling slightly. A tear slips down her cheek, but her face doesn't crumble. She just breathes through it. She's not breaking, she's remembering. The narrator returns. She lost him once. But love like theirs never truly leaves. It waits. In the quiet moments, in the whispers of the wind, the trailer slows again. Amy walks towards Spartan, mounts him, and rides out into the open field. The camera pulls back a wide shot of her silhouette against the fading sun. The final piano note plays as the screen fades to black. Text appears on screen. Heartland Season 19, Episode 3, Love Never Leaves. And then, one last whisper, faint and haunting Ty's voice, right on. Amy. The screen fades completely, leaving the audience in silence, hearts full, eyes wet, waiting for more. As the trailer deepens, the story expands beyond Amy's pain into the hearts of those who walk beside her. Because Heartland has never been just Amy's story. It's a story of a family bound by love, loss, and... Cut to Lou, standing in the Heartland kitchen, sunlight pouring through the window. She's holding a cup of coffee, staring at an old photo of Ty and Amy on the fridge. Lou's strength is quieter now. She's no longer just the big sister who fixes things. She's the one who understands that not everything can be fixed. When Amy walks in, their eyes meet. No words, no smiles, just a small nod. That's how sisters talk when hearts are heavy. Then there's Tim. His presence is always rougher. It's more stubborn. But the trailer shows a different side of him. We see him at the stables, glancing toward Amy and Lyndy as they laugh in the distance. There's pride in his eyes and guilt too. Tim's always been the man who hides his feelings behind work and worry. But in this short moment, he lets himself feel the weight of being a father, a grandfather. A man who wishes he could take away some of Amy's pain but knows he can't. His line comes like a confession. She got your strength, Marion. Every time I see her, I see you. The screen fades to Lyndy, the youngest heart in the Heartland family. Her laughter echoing through the ranch like sunlight on water. She doesn't understand the depth of her mother's sorrow, but in her innocence, she brings light to every shadow. A quick montage shows her riding with Amy, playing near Spartan. And falling asleep on the couch beside Jack, her presence is a reminder. Life continues. Love passes through generations. And even the deepest pain can grow into hope. The music swells softly here, a blend of piano and violin, gentle and emotional. The narrator returns. Every soul at Heartland carries a piece of Ty, in memories, in lessons, in love. The trailer cuts between the faces of the family, Jack, Lou, Tim, Lyndy, Caleb, each of them caught in a moment of reflection. Their lives have moved forward. Ty's absence ties them together in a quiet bond of remembrance. Then, the camera returns to Amy, standing in the field, her family behind her. She looks toward the horizon, the wind brushing through her hair, and for the first time she smiles through the pain. Not because she's forgotten, but because she's finally learning to live with the memory. The final line of the section drifts over the fading shot. When love leaves the world, it doesn't disappear. It finds new ways to stay. The music fades. The sky over Heartland glows with the last light of day. And in that silence, in that soft stillness, you can almost feel Ty's spirit watching over them all. The trailer slows to a stillness so deep that even the wind seems to pause. The world of Heartland fades into a soft, golden blur. And all we see is Amy, standing alone in the quiet glow of the setting sun. Her hands are clasped together, trembling slightly, her breath shallow. Behind her, Spartan grazes calmly, unaware of the storm gathering inside her heart. The music fades to a single piano note. Held long and haunting, Amy takes a slow step forward, her boots crunching softly against the dry earth. She's walking toward Ty's old workshop, the place where they once shared laughter, plans and dreams that never got their ending. The door creaks open, dust floating through the last strands of light. Inside, everything is still: a jacket on a chair, a photograph on the shelf, an old tool left where he last used it. Time has stood still here, frozen in memory. She picks up the photograph. It's her and Ty, smiling under the open sky, their faces young and full of life. The camera stays close on her eyes, and we see it, that flicker of memory breaking the dam she's built around her heart. Her lips part, and she whispers barely above breath, "I miss you, Ty." It's not a cry for attention. It's not even a plea. It's a confession, the kind that only escapes when silence grows too heavy. The piano swells softly, joined by a faint violin, tender, aching. It's full of love that refuses to die. Her vision blurs as tears fill her eyes. One slips down her cheek, then another. She doesn't wipe them away. She lets them fall, as if every tear is a word she never got to say. The light catches the tears as they drop, sparkling like fragments of memory. For the first time in a long time, Amy doesn't hold back. The trailer then cuts to flashbacks quick. Beautiful fragments of their life together. Ty teaching Amy how to fix a saddle. The two of them laughing in the rain. Their hands brushing against each other for the first time. Their wedding kiss. The birth of Lyndy. The images overlap with the present Amy standing alone. Holding that photo, the past and the now tangled together. Like threads of one story, the voiceover whispers through the emotion. Some love stories don't end. They just change shape. They live in the air we breathe, in the places we return to, in the hearts that never let go. Amy sinks slowly onto a hay bale, clutching the photo to her chest. Her body shakes as she cries. Not loud, not broken, but quietly, deeply. The way people cry when they're not sure they'll ever stop. Spartan neighs softly outside as if sensing her pain. The sound of the horse becomes part of the music. Natural, haunting, grounding. Then, voice faint, distant, but unmistakable. Ty's voice. "Hey, it's okay." Amy's breath catches. The camera doesn't show Ty, just Amy's face as she looks up, her tears mixing with a trembling smile. It's not a ghost she sees, it's a feeling, a memory. A piece of love too strong to disappear. She closes her eyes, and in that stillness, everything feels right again. The pain doesn't vanish, but it softens, reshaped by love. Steadied by memory, the narrator speaks the final lines over the image of Amy walking out of the barn. The sunset glowing behind her. She remembers him not to grieve, but to keep him alive. In her heart, in her daughter's laughter, in every sunrise over Heartland. The piano fades. The wind returns. Amy lifts her face to the sky, eyes red but peaceful, and the screen cuts to black. Text appears. Heartland, Season 19, Episode 3. Love Never Leaves. And in that silence that follows, every fan feels it. The ache, the hope, the memory of Ty, alive, eternal, and unforgettable. The final seconds of the trailer fade into a golden hush. The air over Heartland seems to shimmer, not with grief anymore, but with peace. Amy rides across the open field, the evening light brushing her face like a promise. Spartan's hooves echo softly against the earth, steady, sure, familiar. The camera follows from behind, the sky painted in orange and rose, a visual echo of everything Ty once was. Warmth, strength, love that never asked for forever, but gave it anyway. The narrator's voice breaks through the silence, calm and soothing, like the end of a story that doesn't really end. Some stories live on, not in the pages we turn, but in the hearts that remember, as Amy rides toward the horizon. The trailer begins to weave together flashes of all that Heartland stands for. Family dinners lit by candlelight. Jack's quiet smile, Lou's laughter, Tim's watchful eyes, and Lyndy's hand reaching up to her mother. These are not just scenes. They are reminders. Life keeps moving, even after loss. The heart learns to carry both love and pain in the same breath. A gentle montage unfolds, Amy brushing Spartan's mane under the soft light of dawn. Jack mending a fence with a thoughtful look. Lyndy chasing butterflies in the field, and Lou watching from the porch. Tears in her eyes but a smile on her lips. These moments carry the rhythm of peace after a storm. A melody of memory turning into meaning. The music deepens. Soft strings and piano intertwining, and the voiceover continues. When someone you love becomes a memory, that memory becomes your strength. Then, the screen fills with light as Amy dismounts and stands in the middle of the field. The camera circles around her slowly. She looks up at the wide Alberta sky, endless, quiet, beautiful. Her lips move in silence, whispering something we don't hear, but we know what it is. A thank you, a goodbye, a promise to keep living. A soft wind moves through the grass. And for a heartbeat, it almost sounds like Ty's voice again, faint, carried by the air. Amy closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and smiles. Not a smile of forgetting, but of remembering with love. Then the narrator's final line drifts across the screen, like poetry carved in air. Love doesn't fade when the person is gone. It stays in the land, in the light, and in every heart that dares to remember. The screen begins to fade to black. The Heartland logo appears slowly, glowing with soft light. Beneath it, text forms in white letters. Season 19, Episode 3, coming soon. The final piano note lingers, long, gentle, aching with warmth. Then silence. After a breath of stillness, the outro message appears. The voiceover lighter, almost like a friend speaking softly. What do you think Amy will do next? Will she find peace? Or will her heart lead her somewhere unexpected? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget, love stays, always. The logo fades out completely, leaving only the sound of wind and the distant call of a horse. It's quiet, peaceful, eternal. For a moment, you sit there, not just watching a trailer, but feeling it. You're reminded why Heartland has lasted this long, because it's never just about horses or ranches. It's about hearts that break, heal, and keep beating anyway. And as the final whisper echoes, "Ride on, Amy," you realize this isn't just the end of a trailer. It's a reminder of what it means to love someone who never really leaves. This final section transforms all the emotion and story you've built into a powerful cinematic experience, one that speaks through visuals, sound and tone rather than faces or dialogue. Because in a faceless video, emotion doesn't live in expressions. It lives in atmosphere. Every frame must breathe Heartland spirit, love, loss, renewal. Without ever showing a single human face clearly, voiceover direction. The voice is the heart of this video. It must sound calm, warm, and deeply human, like someone who's lived through grief and learned to find peace within it. The tone should flow softly, almost whispering in emotional moments, and grow firm when hope begins to rise. Avoid performance. It shouldn't sound like an actor. It should sound like someone remembering something real. The pacing must match the emotions, slower during memories, steady during narrative lines, and slightly lifted toward the end for hope. Each pause between sentences should feel intentional, giving the audience time to breathe and feel. Visual storytelling, the faceless format, depends entirely on powerful, symbolic imagery. Wide shots of the Heartland Ranch at sunrise and sunset. The golden fields. Horses moving slowly, trees swaying in soft wind. Close-ups of hands. Amy's fingers brushing Spartan's mane, gripping Ty's jacket, holding the photo. These tiny movements carry more emotion than words ever could. Objects as symbols, Ty's jacket hanging by the door, a mug on the porch, a photo frame catching morning light, Spartan's saddle resting in the barn. Every object tells a story of love that lingers. Nature transitions, drifting clouds, falling leaves, and glowing dust particles in the sunlight. These quiet visuals remind viewers that time never stops, even when hearts do. Avoid showing full faces. Keep the camera behind the shoulder, from afar, or at ground level. This keeps mystery alive and lets the audience see themselves in the story. Music and sound design. Music is your invisible actor. It carries the emotion silently. Choose a slow piano and violin track, something simple, minimal, but full of warmth. Layer it softly beneath the narration. Begin with a single piano note, low and distant. Add strings gradually as emotions rise. During flashbacks or memory scenes, use faint reverb, a dreamlike echo, as if the sound itself is remembering. Let silence play a role. The quiet after a line or before a transition makes the words hit deeper. Sound effects should be natural and gentle. Wind brushing through grass, Spartan's footsteps, birds calling in the distance. The creak of a wooden door, these details root the story in real life while keeping the audience emotionally anchored. Editing and cinematic flow, the pacing of the video must mirror the emotional arc of the story, opening soft and mysterious. Introduce the ranch with slow pans and warm tones. Memory rising, gradual build and brightness, and emotional weight. Overlay flashbacks with faded transparency. Emotional peak slow motion, gentle camera shakes, brighter light flickers, then cut to black during Amy's breakdown moment. Resolution transition from darker tones to golden hues. Visual warmth returns as Amy finds peace. Transitions should be fade-based, never abrupt. Let one scene breathe into the next. Add faint lens flares or dust overlays to create a nostalgic atmosphere. Color palette and lighting golden hour tones. Amber, rose gold, and muted browns dominate the scene. Soft contrast. Avoid harsh light or shadows. Heartland's world should feel warm and timeless. Faded highlights. In flashbacks, desaturate slightly to give the sense of memory. Warm bloom effect. A gentle glow over edges creates a dreamlike finish, subtle. Emotional and cinematic, on-screen text and branding use, minimal text overlays. Appearing gently on screen, never harsh or animated too fast. Introduce the title, Heartland, Season 19. Episode 3, first look and trailer, use soft transitions for key quotes from the narration. Love never leaves. Some memories wait for us. She remembers him not to grieve, but to keep him alive. End with Heartland, Season 19. Episode 3. Love never leaves. Fade in your channel logo slowly, in the same tone as the visuals, elegant, unobtrusive and heartfelt, emotional takeaway when the video ends. Your audience shouldn't just feel like they watched something, they should feel like they remembered something. That's the magic of Heartland. Your faceless style lets them project their own love, grief, and healing onto the story. They won't see Amy's face. They'll see their own. And that's why they'll stay until the very last frame.